What's up, you guys? Sean Ross at Fightful.com. Here with a name you've been seeing all over the place lately, Danny Limelight. Danny, how you doing?
What's up, Sean? How you doing, man? Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I watched and really enjoyed an interview you did a while back with Carlos Toro, a guy who's written for us for,
Oh,
for quite a while. It was a super in-depth interview, great interview. I encourage everybody to check it out. And
thank you. Yeah,
just
Carlos is dope.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's going to be one of the biggest boxing writers in the world too. But just in the 3 months since that happened, my God, your career's exploded.
Yeah, it. I remember when I spoke to Carlos. My friend Abraham Gonzalez. I don't know if you know him. He kind of connected us together, and I had just been coming off. New Japan had just kicked off for me. Really, I was getting ready to roll into like the Lions Break Crown tournament and things like that. And then, when the pandemic started, I was kind of like, damn, like what's gonna happen with wrestling now,
Yeah.
things like that. And somehow it just became like the best thing that ever happened to me. And so when I spoke to Carlos, I was excited about everything. I told him that I had envisioned, I had a 2020 vision and I wanted to have a big year, but with the pandemic happening, I didn't expect it to get that big. And then after I spoke to Carlos and, 3 months have gone by, it got bigger. I don't know how, obviously through hard work and consistency, but it's been like a real crazy amazing year, and I've worked so hard for a while now, and it feels just great to like finally have everything falling into place. And I told myself that before the year's over, I'm gonna just take one day and just sit down and kind of like soak it all in, and really just like embrace it. But right now I'm still on grind mode. I got a match with, I don't know when this airs, but today's Monday when we're doing this, but
Yeah.
when tomorrow I have a match with Matt Seidel on Dark, like so I have my match with Rocky Romero on New Japan this Friday. I just came off the Super J Cup with Team Filthy. So like so much still going on, even though there's only like 2 weeks left in the year and I still have some bookings coming up. So still on grind mode until everything slows down. Then I'll finally be able to like really embrace everything that's happened to me so far.
And man, so at the time you spoke with Carlos, I know you were already doing the New Japan stuff, and
Right.
that has just accelerated. What was the filming process like? Because I had somebody tell me that they put like months of stuff in the can in one shot. How was that?
Um, so just they don't want us talking about this
Oh, okay,
because
fair.
I think when that came out, they kind of like hit us all up and like don't let people know this is all pre-taped and stuff like that. And
I mean,
so
I think it's a smart move to do that. I mean,
yeah,
I mentioned I thought WWE when they had John Cena in to film stuff, they should have filmed stuff for months with him. Like,
for months with him, right, pre-taped in and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um, Sorry, I hope
that's
that
okay.
I
No,
just okay,
no,
cool,
it's
yeah,
okay. It's the nature of the wrestling world, and especially right now. But you went there. Like, I'm always interested in who's helping out who in these situations. Like, was there
right,
anybody at this certain place? And I'm sure I'll ask you this about AEW, about any number of other places
right.
that were like helping you out specifically with things and shoring up your work.
Yeah, I for sure. It's funny because when I made my debut in New Japan, Rocky Romero had sent out a tweet and was like, "I got my eye on Danny Limelight. This kid has something special, yada yada, things like that." And they started talking. I guess they were expecting us to like join a team together or something like that because we have similar charisma and styles and things like that. So I guess that they were expecting something there. Rocky Romero was actually the guy that invited me out to the tryout, the New Japan tryout last fall. And he's the guy that I met, 5 years ago almost at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood with David Marquez. He kind of introduced us and things like that. We kind of just became like, I don't say friends, or if you want to say just like, a mentor kind of thing going. Um, and so when I turned on him, and joined Team Filthy, everybody was like, whoa, like this was the guy that kind of brought you in, the guy that kind of had his eye on you and things like that. And turning on him was a decision that I made for my career. But he was the first person there that kind of like really started to like help, help me work on the things that I needed to work on, I would say. And one of the guys that helped me elevate my game. And then I just made a decision. Rocky's known for turning on people. And so I made that decision before he did it to me. So he's definitely one of them. Going to the LA dojo and just training with the young lions like Clark Connors, Carl Fredericks, those guys, they're the real deal, man. Shibata's there. So I would say the LA Dojo really shaped it out. And then there's a lot of guys in the back, I won't really name drop or anything like that kind of really critique the matches and give positive feedback and let you know what you should work on. And I think that's how it should be. I really feel like it should definitely be, I don't want to know what I did good. Let me know what I didn't do good. So that's what I can work on. You know what I'm saying? I never was a fan of the guys just like, oh yeah, great job, dude. You killed it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure I'm not perfect. So like, but I think in the New Japan, locker room for sure, there's a lot of leaders in the locker room that really, really care about the business and really care about New Japan and the content that's being put out there. And they want to make sure that if we're competing at that level, that we're definitely doing our best. So I appreciate all those guys that kind of take the time to really just give that feedback.
It feels like this New Japan situation has almost become like a home promotion for you over the last 6 months, because you did the Lions Break stuff, you did the Strong stuff, and now the J Cup. And I mean, had the pandemic not happened, who knows if this would have accelerated to this level. It forced New Japan to pretty much do a brand split.
Yeah, in a way, it kind of feels like, it's like a whole New Japan of America type thing, type deal going on with the weekly Friday show, which in my opinion is the best hour of wrestling anywhere. Like it's on Friday night, and it's kind of, not, I don't want to say forced them, but in a way, yeah, it got them working on two different things. You still got guys going back and forth, like, Guerrillas of the God, Jay White. You see, he's here and there. And then you got like the guys that are just here, right now, like in the young Lions, like Carl Fredericks, Clark Connors, Jeff Cobb's going back and forth. You got Fred Rosser now, who's kind of becoming a mainstay.
Love Fred Rosser.
The team filled. Fred Rosser doing the best work of his career in my opinion right now,
without a doubt. And he had something to prove when he went in there. Like you could tell. He said recently, AEW turned me down twice. I'm gonna make him regret it.
I saw that. And he's, in my opinion, he's doing his best work, man. And he's somebody who I consider to be a friend now. He always talks about how I was his first friend in the New Japan locker room. But he's somebody who has that veteran experience, who has that wrestled at the biggest stage, kind of, and he's somebody I sit down and I'll just pick his brain and ask him questions. Yeah. And then we'll shoot the shit, of course. But he's another person that's in the locker room. You got PJ Black in the locker room, Then you got upcoming stars like myself, Blake Christian, guys that are Adrian Quest, guys that are really trying to prove themselves and prove that we belong. And it's an awesome locker room, man. It's a lot of fun, and I'm super grateful for the opportunity. I've always said that Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, the United Wrestling Network has been my home since I started wrestling. But yes, New Japan over the last, it's been 6 months now. And the last 6 months has kind of been like my secondary home to wrestle at. And I love it.
You mentioned the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood stuff. I mean, that was another situation that saw the profile increase with all the UWN stuff that came along, and the NWA spotlight cast on that a bit. Tell me how that's been and what you thought when you heard that this was going to be the model and the plan moving forward.
Well, for me, I always trust David Marquez. He's a guy that I owe my career to. I say it all the time because, when I started training to be a professional wrestler, my school had kicked me out and told me I'd never wrestle again. And he kind of saw something in me 5 years ago now and kind of pulled me in to wrestle on national television. And I was only 10 months in the business. So obviously, over the years, I've continued to work for him and build that relationship. And so when I heard about Primetime Live in the partnership with the NWA and the live pay-per-view every Tuesdays and things like that, and we had a conversation. He's like, I want you to be, you and the Bodega, I want you guys to be like one of the main stage on the roster. And I was like, I'm all for it. Like, I'm excited, and I thought of all the possible opportunities because, Championship Wrestling Hollywood has a good roster, and we have, good matches and things like that. But now with this Primetime Live, it allowed other guys to come in that we had never seen in the United Wrestling Network ring before, and now they're bringing in, with the NWA guys, you're having some of the best female matches on TV right now at Primetime Live. And then bringing in guys like Leo Rush and bringing in guys like Kratos and, Aaron Stevens and just all, James Storm was there. Fred Rosser's there. Dirty Dickinson is there. So all these guys that are coming from all over the place to the West Coast to wrestle, it's a hot zone right now. And it's fun, man. I love the show. It's an hour and a half. And I think it's a lot of fun. And I'm excited to see, now that we took a break for the rest of the year, I'm excited to see what happens going forward in the new year.
I mean,
Hopefully, me and
on any given week, like you're on some streaming platform like 3 times a week
yeah,
at this
yeah,
point.
yeah. Yeah, there was one week where it was where I was on AEW Dark and Primetime Live at the same time, and then I was on New Japan Strong that Friday, and then Championship Wrestling from Hollywood that Saturday. There was one time I did four different shows, but now it's basically three different kind of shows a week, and like I said, it's been a whirlwind of a year. It's been my breakout year, and I'm like, I feel blessed, man. Like I feel like kind of like I want to like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
just like soak it in, but I can't because I gotta stay consistent with it. So I have to keep grinding, and that's why I've been all over the place these last few weeks. But it's all worth it to me. I'm getting ready to get on the plane to head to Florida. Tomorrow
Yeah.
morning. So
And I mean, I saw you do a GCW spot in the middle of all that too. Like you
I
did the
did,
match with
I did.
Dickinson and Quest.
Dickinson and Quest, yeah, that was cool. I've always wanted to wrestle for GCW. I was supposed to wrestle Alex Zane in the singles match. I was unfortunate that didn't happen.
Yeah, he got
But
signed.
but
He's from
yeah,
about a half an hour from me.
yeah. But the three-way was cool. Dickinson is great. Quest is another unsigned hidden gem on the SoCal scene, and it was fun. It was a quick little thing, but I had a good time. And then I think I did one more. I did one more independent show between all that. It was Hurricane Pro Wrestling in Texas. I wrestled Miranda Alizé, and I'm actually going back to Texas next week, the 26th, so 2 weeks from now, to wrestle Will All Day at Hurricane Pro. I'm not really accepting independent bookings anymore at this point because I know what I want. I don't know where my mind's at, but I love Miranda. She's great. I wanted to wrestle her, and Will All Day, somebody that I've been wanting to wrestle for a long time, who is another unsigned hidden gem in Texas. In my opinion, he's great, and I wanted to wrestle him for a while too. So when they told me, "Hey, would you come back to wrestle this guy?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
So what is the thing that you want? I assume by the looks of it, something New Japan, something AEW full time. You got an AEW
Yeah,
shirt on, looking like
I
that.
do.
That
I'm over here reading, reading the Young Bucks killing the business book.
that would be a little awkward if you were like, I'm looking for a WWE contract.
WWE contract.
With your AEW shirt on.
For me, I don't close any doors. I'm open to any opportunity that comes my way. The way things are going for me right now, I think I have an idea of where I want to go. But again, I don't shut the door in nobody's face because I never liked when it was shut on me. I think everybody should be open to any opportunity. So I know that wherever I sign, it's going to be a company that I feel like I can be an asset to and add value to, but also a place where I know I'm going to be happy at, and I'm so happy when I'm at AEW. I'm so happy when I'm with New Japan. So any of those places would be awesome for me. And I feel like I could fit in and mesh well with anybody on the roster on any of those companies. So
when you
I do
see
have
AEW doing crossover stuff with Impact, which you have also done an appearance for them, how does that
yes.
make you feel? Because you are a guy who is appearing for 3 distinctly different companies on any given week, as we mentioned. And then if
Right.
you so choose to take an independent booking, one of the most prominent independent promotions as well in GCW. When you see that, does that open your eyes? Does that like make you go, oh man, I'd like to do stuff there and there?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Impact has an amazing roster, and it's not talked about enough. I don't think you got guys like Chris Bay, Rich Swann, the North. Like all these. Even their knockouts division is
Great.
dope, man. Like so for me, when I see them doing, Kenny Omega was just on Impact, a couple of days ago, and he was there on Final Resolution as well, and then he went to Triple A, for Triple Mania. So it's like with AEW working out all these like agreements with all these companies, I think it's amazing for wrestling. I'm thinking of all the possible matchups. I would love to get in the ring with Chris Bay again. I'd love to wrestle Ace Austin again. When I was there at Impact, I did a X Division match with Ace Austin, Trey Miguel, Jake Chris, and Adrian Quest. It was a 5-way scramble. And I thought after that performance, I thought they were going to offer me a contract. When it didn't happen, I figured maybe I'm not ready yet. Maybe I need to work harder. And now the way things are going, I wouldn't mind wrestling for Impact again. I think it would be fun. I think I could have some cool matchups with some of those guys there. And now with the possibility of it happening more consistently with the AEW and Impact thing going on, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for wrestling. When the pandemic hit, people probably thought wrestling was going to go to shit, and I think it's been the best year of wrestling in a very, very long time.
You did that one match in Impact. I think it was last year. It was the X Division title match with Ace
Yes.
Austin and Adrian and all, and I think Jake Chris was the champion at the time.
Yeah, Jay Chris was the champ, and Trey Miguel was there.
Who brought you in to do that spot?
That was another David Marquez thing, man.
Really?
Yeah, David Marquez has really been the guy that kind of set me up for success in this business. With the Impact, he introduced me to Rocky Romero, and that led to the New Japan stuff. The Primetime Live on pay-per-view, just learning. Okay, this is why I really credit him, because I was 10 months in the business and he brought me to his show and I learned how to wrestle in front of cameras, like hard cam, finding cameras. And I think that a lot of the issues with independent wrestlers trying to jump to like TV is that they don't know how to do that. Like they don't know how to work the cameras. They don't know how to cut a promo and things like that. And I feel like Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and Dave Marquez Productions kind of set me up for that at a very young age in my career. So I didn't develop those bad habits of just doing things and not worrying about the cameras, kind of.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I'm so like thankful for him, because now when I'm having a match on Impact one time, I got one chance to show Impact what I know where the cameras are. When I'm wrestling for New Japan, I know where the cameras are. AEW, that's a place where it's like everybody's killing to get a chance to wrestle on Dark. I've been on Dark, this match they just announced with me and Matt Sydal will be my 5th match on Dark in a month and a half, So basically almost every week I've been there now since I started wrestling with them. And it's because I know how to work the cameras. I know how to do the character stuff. I know how to really sell myself to them, because I learned that at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and somebody else has been helping me a lot lately was Aaron Stevens, or people know him as Damian Sandow. He's the guy that has like his brain, the way it works is so, I don't even know how to explain it, but I was doing the Puerto Rican New York thing, but he kind of took it and he kind of was like, I think you need to push it more this way. And at first I was like, I'm not too sure, man. Like, and he's like, he's like, try it. And if it doesn't bite, then you don't have to do it. And I was like, all right, you're somebody who's been everywhere. I'm going to trust you. And I went with it, man. And I think it was after I made that constant decision to really go full into this, being authentic to who I was growing up and not so much who I am now. It kind of just worked. And I'm super thankful for that.
So the AEW spots, which we just talked about, who made that call and brought you in? Was
Well, that was I had contacted Christopher Daniels when the pandemic had started. I think my first match when New Japan had aired, me and TJ Perkins. And I kind of sent him the link to the match and I kind of like introduced myself, let him know who I was. And he was like, we'll let you know when we have something going for you. This was back, I think, in like August or July. I'm not sure. And then, somebody that I know very well, I've known from the SoCal wrestling scene for a long time, kind of talked to them and was like, you need to look at this guy, kind of thing. And I got the message from QT. And he told me, hey, come, this is the date, yada, 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 can you make it? And I was like, I'll be there. I was there. And then I got to wrestle Jurassic Express. I want to thank, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, because they kind of really gave me that chance to really show who I was in that first 6-man that I had with the Jersey Muscle Boys. And they didn't have to do that. They could have been selfish, I think. And they allowed me to show everybody who had never seen me before, if they weren't watching New Japan or United Wrestling Network, who I am. I got to do my stuff. And I had fun. And then the next time I wrestled them again with Casey Navarro, again, it was another chance for me to showcase some things. And then I finally had my first singles match with Brandon Cutler. And then my match with Brian Cage. And then now I got Matt Sydal. And it's kind of just been rocking and rolling. And the feedback has been amazing. I definitely, I talked to the Bucks after all my matches. I want to know what they see. And I talked to Cody. And nothing but positive feedback. And I'm excited because I feel in my gut, that something's going to happen for me really soon. It's only a matter of time. And after the year that I've had, for me, it just adds more pressure to the next year. It's like, okay, I had this year, I'm probably going to be the SoCal Wrestler of the Year. How do I follow that up the next year? And it's all about consistency. And for me, it's like, in order for me to top the year that I have, I need to sign with a major company, and I need to continue the work ethic and continue to grind it out this next year. Because if I don't, then they're gonna say what, it was a fluke, it was a lucky year, or he only did it because of the pandemic. And I can't have that. I'm too prideful, and I know that I know what I want. I know that I have that genuine attitude and that authenticity of what I want to do and where I want to be. And for me to get there, I have to keep grinding. And it's only a matter of time. I'm only getting better. And I think that more people are starting to see that now. And it feels great because, you know, from going to just having my dad and my daughter as my fans to now all these people are like really cheering me on. And I don't want to let nobody down, including myself.
That's refreshing to hear because there are a lot of people that won't specify their goals. They won't specify like what they want. You seem pretty distinct in what you want to accomplish.
Yeah. And I think that's something the military taught me, you know, just like that have that laser focus, you know, that target, that goal, whatever, and then just take, you know, locate, close with, destroy the enemy, or locate, close with, destroy the target, whatever the case may be, to get there, you know, and it stuck with me. A lot of the things that I learned in the military, you know, has bled over and adapted into the wrestling world. And even now with the acting and the stunt work that I do, you know, I still keep that laser focus from the military. It's just something that I won't ever leave. But in a way, it's kind of helped me grind. You know, I can't see myself sitting on the couch flipping through channels all day. You know, I didn't, the Marine Corps, the way the Marine Corps trained me, it did not allow me to get lazy during the pandemic. You know, it made me work harder. And that's why I have a lot of emails that come in like, hey, I'm thinking about joining the military. What do you think? I'm thinking about this. What do you think? I'm like, do it. If you don't have any other option and you're thinking about joining the military, do it, because they set me up for success. And I was just some street kid from New York City. So I'm grateful for everything I learned with the military and where it's taken me. And I think that because I had that experience, it kind of has helped me get this far.
So I do a segment in each interview where it's the opposite of burying somebody. We call it shooting softly, where I ask you to say something nice about wrestlers that I mentioned. Like it's the complete opposite. We're putting some positive news out into the world.
Let's do that. I like that.
Yeah.
Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way.
There you go. It didn't work well when I did it with MJF. He just buried everybody. He just buried everybody. But we'll start off with you, with a person you worked with recently, Chase Owens.
Oh, dude, that was the first Bullet Club guy I've wrestled. He was great. He was a great opponent. And I think that he helped me really take my game to the next level as far as taking an opponent as experienced as himself.
You also had some run-ins with Jeff Cobb, who is another name from America. We've seen on New Japan Strong. We've seen him really all over the place lately.
Locker room leader, one of the strongest men I've ever met in the world.
How about Jurassic Express? You talked about how giving they were. I mean, there's 3 of them there. Did you have many interactions with each one individually?
Yes. You know, I actually trained with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Okay. And what I will say is that that team is one of the most innovative trios teams in professional wrestling.
Casey Navarro, a person that you teamed with against Jurassic Express.
Hot upcoming star, has a big future ahead of himself. Super, super humble dude.
Brandon Cutler, a person you worked with in AEW, but you also worked with him well before AEW, or before you popped up there.
Brandon Cutler, smart dude, caring, giving, and he's a team player.
We've seen you work with Mysterioso Jr. a few times.
One of the biggest luchadors that I know, who can still move like he weighs my weight.
Tony Deppen, an emerging name on the independent circuit, got a ton of buzz around him.
First of all, congratulations to Tony Deppen and his wife on the birth of their beautiful child.
Yeah.
Secondly, Tony Deppen is a wild man. He's an amazing grappler, amazing striker, one of the most down dudes I've ever met, man. I love that dude.
A person that I just interviewed, amazing how far he's come this year as well, Jordan Oliver.
Oh, dude, that kid has a big future. He's the current Hollywood Heritage Champion on Championship Wrestler from Hollywood. And I love Jordan. He's humble, and he has a big future ahead of himself.
Put him like 30, 40 pounds during the pandemic.
Wait. I mistake that. You say Jordan Oliver. I was thinking of Jordan Clearwater. Can I rephrase my statement?
Hey, yeah, we can say nice things about all of them.
Yeah, I was talking about Jordan Clearwater. But Jordan Oliver, I wrestled him one time in New York City. Young, dumb, and broke wild boy. I love his attitude. He's a heavyweight now, dude. You're not a cruiserweight anymore. Love Jordan Oliver. I want to wrestle him again.
A name that I know that you have worked with in the past. I'm surprised she hasn't popped up signed anywhere. Delilah Doom.
Yes, Delilah Doom and her partner Eli Everfly, an amazing intergender tag team. Super innovative. She's a sweetheart. I love her. She's great.
And then Brian Cage, who you know.
Yeah, that's the machine, man. Who better than Cage? I love him. I love his family. They're great people, man. Cage is a strong dude, and he's missed to get his shit in, but he lets you get your shit in too.
There was actually something that I saw somebody speaking about. They were like, I wonder if he's too giving, especially considering like he's taken 15, 20 years of bumps now. He's had the back issues, and they're like, you wouldn't be able to tell it if you worked with him or if you saw him.
He's huge, and he moves like he's my size. Maybe if you look at it in like the professional wrestling aspect, oh, you give too much. But in his mentality, he's trying to show the world how good he is. And it doesn't make him look any better if he's just beating dudes down in 3 minutes. You know, Cage is awesome, man. Cage is the man. Who better?
So as we wrap up, let people know a little bit of something about you that they might not know, something that might not even come up in the scope of an interview, like something maybe that happens in the day in a life of a Danny Limelight.
Well, everybody knows that I'm a father. But one thing that people don't know is that, you know, my daughter don't live with me. She lives with her mom. She's an actress, and she wants to be a professional wrestler. So for me, everything I'm doing, even though it may seem like I'm doing it for myself, you know, I'm really doing it for her to show her that she can chase her dreams, no matter what they may be. Even if she wants to build a tent on Jupiter, you know what I'm saying, or a treehouse in Mars, she can do anything as long as she grinds towards it. So I have daily conversations with her all the time. She'll FaceTime me and ask me questions about wrestling, or she'll FaceTime me and ask me questions about acting or what she should do for this audition she has coming up and things like that. So on top of everything else that I do, you know, I'm being a father at home, and I'm going to school for film production and learning how to do that stuff. So I'm super busy, man. And I never really have time to like sit down and relax. But when I do have time to just sit down and decompress, I love to sit on the couch and watch Netflix, like a new TV show. And right now, I'm currently binge watching Queen's Gambit because I like chess. So I used to play chess growing up, so this show's kind of having me like hooked right now. I don't know if that answered your question, but
it did. And also, before we go, let the people know where they can follow you on social media. We have your Twitter on our overlay, but
okay.
Yeah.
Sean, first of all, I just want to thank you for bringing me on the show, man. This was fun. And if anybody's looking to find me, they can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Danny Limelight. Or if you want to check out some of my merchandise, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Danny Limelight. If you have a podcast you want to do, I'm available. Just hit me up in my DMs and we can arrange that as well. Sean, thank you once again so much for taking your time. I know you're super busy. I'm glad we were able to do this, and I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, I get the feeling I'll have to go through a PR department the next time I talk to you. So
nah, never that. Not for you. You
think that? Well, wait until that pit bull Mandy at AEW. She's wonderful, but yeah, I get the feeling I'll be going through AEW or somebody like that for Danny Limelight in the future. Danny, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.
Until next time, guys, we're out.